Lone Star State is considering own currency, and it's not just Texans who could use it. This is wild. I love it. This is actually currency backed by something, and is exciting. And I'm definitely going to get in on this. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store where I have I Will Not Comply t-shirts. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Texas could create a digital currency backed by gold and silver if a proposal in the state Senate moves forward. The law would allow the state to mint pure gold or silver coins based on weight and issue debit cards that have their value backed up by gold and silver, according to the Epic Times. And this is amazing. It's actually it's actually backed by something. It's not just like the dollars that our government is just printing out of thin air, and it's something tangible. Is backed by gold and silver. The proposal would allow anyone in the world, not just Texans, to purchase gold or silver to start an account and use that for any legal purpose. The gold and silver would be held at the Texas Bullion Depository. As the value of the gold or silver rises, so does the spending power of the account holder. The Epic Times said the proposal is partly aimed at avoiding federal digital dollar, a concept under consideration by the Biden administration, which is a ridiculous idea. A ridiculous idea. Who would actually trust the government digital dollar where they have track of every single penny you spend? No, thank you. But states are allowed to make gold and silver coins. Republican State Senator Brian Hughes, the proposal sponsor, said it is in response to the worries about bank failures, inflation, the possible creation of a federal central bank digital currency. Quote, "We know the dollar, of course, lost more value last year, 2022, than any year since 1980, Hughes said." Mind you, 2022, not the pandemic year, not 2020, 2022 under President Biden's tenure, which is ridiculous. And I think y'all know how I feel about this. This is a plan. This is all planned. They want to crash the economy. That's what this is all about. But he said his proposal is, quote, "a hedge against inflation, a signal to the feds that their digital dollar will not control us, and another way to pay at a very basic level." Republican State Rep. Mark DeRozio, who drafted a bill in the House that is similar to the Senate plan, told the New York Sun that the proposal was, quote, "one way to protect Texans from out-of-control inflation." Quote, "Constituents in my district have expressed an interest in buying gold, as well as having the ability to use it in everyday transactions," he said. DeRozio's bill failed to pass. Quote, "We're talking about real gold and silver would have to we're talking about real gold and silver would have to be backed up every unit in this, Hughes said, according to the Austin American Statesman. Sorry, I kind of messed that up. But, quote, "So it's a real currency. It's not just believe it because the government says it's good." And I will put more trust in that's backed by silver and gold than I would with the American dollar, to be honest. Well, some voices urge caution in any type of digital currency. Quote, "It's kind of the Wild West out there at the state and federal level," Steve Skurlock, director of government relations for the Independent Banker Association of Texas, said. He goes on to say, "I think there's a lot of discussion on how to regulate and how to make it safe for those that have it, how it's processed. Others say there's an opportunity." Kevin Freeman, an investment expert, said if Texas develops a feasible plan, it would dominate the market for digital currency, according to the Epic Times. Quote, "This is the first bill in modern times that addresses all of the issues and problems," Freeman said. A release from the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy said that the Biden administration, quote, has been closely examining the implications of the options for issuing the CBDC. Again, who would trust the federal government with the digital currency? And that irks Republican Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, who has proposed legislation to stop the idea in its tracks, according to Cruz's website. Quote, the federal government has no authority to unilaterally establish a central bank currency. That's true. That's facts. That's facts. That's why we have the Federal Reserve. It's in their charter. It's not the federal government's job at this time. If that's the case, then why do we even have the Federal Reserve? But this bill, that's not an argument for the Federal Reserve. I'm just stating the facts. But he goes on to say this bill goes a long way in making sure big government doesn't attempt to centralize or control cryptocurrency and instead allows it to thrive in the United States. We should be empowering entrepreneurs, enabling innovation, and increasing individual freedom, not stifling it, he said. Republican Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa agreed, saying, quote, the American people ought to be able to spend their money how they choose without the possibility that every transaction could be tracked by the government. Policy this impactful should be made by Congress, not government bureaucrats, and our bill would ensure that no one is snooping on the finances of hardworking Americans. Every American deserves that peace of mind. And again, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They want to be able to track every single dollar you spend. And once first they bring in the federal digital currency, and then they'll tell you that to trade in all of your dollars for the digital currency, because soon the actual cash will be banished and you won't be able to use cash anywhere. You'll only be able to use the central currency, the federal central currency, and that's exactly what they want, so they can track every single penny you spend. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.